Hi, I'm Kelsey of Nested Sleep. Thank you so much for joining today. Today we're going to be talking about solving your baby's short naps. So we're going to go through when short naps can just be developmentally normal. We're going to go through and talk about how to go through a stepwise pattern to figure out why your baby is having short naps and what are actually considered to be short naps. And then we're going to wrap up and give you some different tools that you can assess and see how to fix your baby's short naps. So let's talk first about what is a short nap. So short naps are generally considered to be naps that are less than about 30 to 40 minutes. This is usually the case because they may not be restorative enough, and you may see that your child is still acting tired at that point. But short naps can be very, very common at certain developmental stages. So short naps are most frequently common and seen in newborns. And so why short naps can be common in this age group is that in the newborn stage, up through about 4 months or so, when baby hits that 4-month sleep regression, you're going to see that baby goes right into REM sleep. And so that's that type of sleep that is very restorative, helps with growth and development during that time period. And babies are born to be able to go right into REM sleep because their sleep needs to be very fragmented or very broken up because they eat so frequently. And so short naps are very common in this newborn stage because, again, they're usually eating every 2 to 3 hours in the newborn phase. And so they're not going to have naps that are 3 to 4 hours in length or even 1 or 2 hours in length because they just need to have those little snippets of sleep throughout the day and throughout the night to be able to get the nutrition and the calories they need as well. So short naps, 20 to 30 minute little snoozers are very, very common in the newborn phase, and there's absolutely nothing that you need to do to fix it. Now, when baby hits about that 4-month mark, you're going to see that they hit that 4-month sleep regression. And essentially what that means is that now they don't just go right into REM sleep. They have those lighter stages of sleep as well before they get to that deeper REM sleep. And so in that case, they do need to have a longer nap for it to be restorative. Now, by around 4 months of age, definitely 4 to 5 months of age, I typically recommend that my clients start to stretch baby's awake time or their wake window. And so once you can get your baby to stay awake close to about 2 hours at a time, meaning that they would wake up from the morning sleep, they would have a feed, nurse or bottle at that time, have a little bit of play and awake time, and be able to stay awake for a window of about 2 hours. When that can start to happen, then you'll be able to transition your baby to a 3 nap a day schedule. And when baby is napping 3 times a day, those naps should start to get longer in length. And so typically they should sleep within the 3 to 4 hours total throughout the day, broken up with about 3 naps. Now, if your baby is to the point where they are 4 to 5 months of age, they are on a 3 nap a day schedule now, but they are still only napping like 30, 40 minutes at a time, they're probably going to wake up pretty grumpy. And that I would definitely consider a short nap for that age group. So at that age group is when we want to start troubleshooting and start to figure out what are causing these short naps. So I'm going to give you some of the top reasons for short naps and the causes of them. And again, this is for your babies that are greater than about 5 months of age. So number 1 would be that their wake window is not long enough. So their wake window, if they wake up in the morning and they're only up for about an hour and 15 minutes or an hour and a half, and then they're going down for a nap, because you're maybe seeing their sleepy cues, you're maybe seeing that they're starting to look tired, but then you put them down for a nap, they fall asleep okay, and then they wake up really short nap. In that case, their wake window may not be long enough, and you're gonna need to pull out some tricks initially to keep them up for longer stretches of time because they're just not used to it yet. And so you wanna start to stretch those wake windows to be, again, closer to about 2 hours before putting them down for a nap to make sure that that drive to sleep is strong enough for them to be able to take a longer nap. So that was option one, or reason one, for short naps. Reason two would be that they have not yet really mastered independent sleep, meaning that they haven't really been able to fall asleep on their own yet. Say they typically fall asleep nursing, or they fall asleep being rocked, and now they go to sleep and then they wake up during their sleep cycle and are like, wait a minute, I'm not being rocked anymore. And so that can cause short naps because baby is used to falling asleep, needing an aid to fall asleep. And that is very, very normal at this age. But you do want to start to practice independent sleep so they can get those longer naps. And so when you think about starting to practice independent sleep, you want to, one, develop a bedtime routine to make sure that they're having their eating time be early on in the bedtime routine, and the last step of their bedtime routine being going into their bed or bassinet awake. So that's one of the things you really want to start working on, is that independent sleep when baby gets close to about 4 to 5 months of age, and especially if they are having those short naps. And then lastly, one of the third things is to look at your baby's sleep environment. Babies start to have lighter sleep when they get to that 4 month of age. And so when you have lighter sleep, you're going to be more aware of your surroundings. You're going to be more aware of light within the room. So you really want to look at baby's sleep environment. Is it dark enough? Is there a sound machine or some type of buffer if there's a lot of noise within the household? You don't want to tiptoe around and make it quiet, but you do want to make sure that the sleep environment, especially for naps, is conducive to sleep. If you have any questions about your baby's sleep environment, you can download my nursery checklist, which I will link here, and you can see what are some of the ways that you can make your baby's sleep environment conducive to having longer naps. So those are some of the top reasons that you're gonna see for if your baby is having short naps, to kind of go through that checklist and make sure that you're hitting all of those markers. And remember that if your baby does have short naps, but they're waking still tired, you do want to help aid them to set those expectations that they should be going back to sleep. So you always want to say they wake up after 20-30 minutes and they are fussing or crying. Take a pause, see if they will within a few minutes fall back asleep on their own. If they don't, kind of start with low interventions, meaning going in, doing a little passy, little pat on the bum, see if they'll go back to sleep, and just escalating those interventions as needed until you can get them back to sleep. The reasoning for that is you don't want to have an overtired baby because that can continue that short nap cycle. So those are some of the top ways that you can solve your baby's short naps. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully this was helpful. Sleep well, and I'll talk to you soon.